Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second game of the doubleheader of college women's softball game with Texas A&M Texarkana versus Texas A&M San Antonio. Previous game, Texarkana got 3 runs and Texas A&M San Antonio got 0. Final score was 3-0. Let's see what today's final game of the doubleheader has for us. Where up to bat is number 1, Cassie Morkish, where they already have 1 base secured. She shows bunt and goes straight through the first base. It seems they missed that ball, letting the person before and first base go to the second base. First and second bases are filled. Lady Eagles are off to a strong start here at the top of the first inning. Again, I am your host, Brian Lopez, part of JSN Jaguars Sports Network. Make sure to comment where you're from and who you're supporting, as well as make sure to go follow and like our Instagram page at Jaguars Sports Network. As up next to bat is number 25, Brooke Usray from Redwater, Texas, majoring in mechanical engineering.
Number 25, Brooke Esri.
Strong hit toward the center of the field. She takes her spot in the first base. And it seems first and second bases are filled, and they got their first run here at the top of the first inning, off to a strong start for the Lady Eagles.
Number 29, Presley Humphrey.
Now up to bat is number 29, Presley Humphrey, a sophomore from Texarkana, Texas, majoring in nursing. Count is 0-1 and 0 outs. Strong hit ball going to the right side of the field, where the Lady Jags respond back with a strong catch, making that the first out of the top of the first inning. Where up next to bat is number 8, Jacqueline Schmidt, a freshman from El Paso, Texas, also majoring in nursing. Ball a little to the right. Ball a little low. Count is 2-1 and 1 out. Apology, 2-0, 1 out. Tries to show bunt. Ball a little far, making it the third ball. Another ball, and she'll take her place in the first base. Seems she shows bunt, goes straight towards the first base, and she is caught, making that the second out of the game. Second and third base are secured. Count is 0-0, 2 outs.
Number 22, Bailey Stotzenberger.
Now up to bat is number 22, Bailey Stotzenberger, a senior from Moran, Texas, majoring in Master Business Administration and Management. Ball a little to the far to the left, making that the first ball. I'd like to thank St. Mary's for letting us use their facilities as well as their softball field. We couldn't be streaming if it wasn't for them. Count is 3-0 and 2 outs. Seems that was her fourth ball. She takes her place right there at the first base. All bases are filled. Great, strong position that they want to be in at just the start of the first inning.
Number 2, Macy Cutzinger.
Now up to bat is number 2, Macy Cutzinger. And it seems that she is out, and that does it for the first inning, top of the first inning, where the score is Texarkana 1, Texas A&M Jaguars 0. I'll see you at the bottom of the first inning. And welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the first inning, where up to bat is number 5, Kaylee Barlow, a sophomore from Shepherd, Texas, where she shows bunt. And it does not count. Where the count is 0-1 and 0 outs. Another strong hit going to the left side of the field, where the Lady Eagles respond back with a strong catch, making that the first out at the bottom of this first.
Number 21, Christiana Luyeva.
Now up to bat is number 21, Christiana Luera, a freshman from Fort, Texas. Strong, solid hit going a little too far to the left side of the field, making that the second strike, with the count being 0-2 and 1 out. Another solid hit going to the left side of the field, where she takes her place at the first base.
Number 8, Samara Aguilera.
Now up to bat is number 8, Samara Aguilera, a junior from El Paso, Texas, where ball seems a little too far to the left. Count is 2-0, 1 out, with one person on the first base. That will be the first strike. Again, that ball seems going too far to the left, making that the third ball, count being 3-1 and 1 out with one player on the base, first base. Again, to everyone watching the stream, make sure y'all comment where you're from and who you're supporting. As it seems that makes it 2 outs for the bottom of the first inning with one player at the first base. Tricky position for the Lady Jags to be in right now.
Number 7, Jordan Henry.
Now up to bat is number 7, Jordan Henry. A nice, strong, solid hit going to the right side. A little too far to the right. Bouncing back from the net with the count being 1-1 and 2 outs. Scoreboard showing all twos, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Great hit going to the right side of the field. Ultimately, it does not count. Another ball going straight towards the right side, surpassing the bleachers. Even one of the spectators trying to even catch the ball barehanded. Count being 3-2 and 2 outs. Solid hit going towards the center of the field where the Lady Eagles respond back by catching that ball, making that the third out at the bottom of the first, with the score being Texarkana 1, Texas A&M San Antonio 0. And I'll see everyone at the top of the second inning. And welcome back, everyone, to the top of the second inning, where up to bat is number 8. Take that back. It is number 6 up to bat, Raylene Salzeta from Northridge, California, majoring in sociology. Solid hit going to the far left side of the field, where the Lady Jags respond back by catching the ball, making that the first out. Now up to bat is number 24, Brianna De Leon, a junior from Houston, Texas, where she hits the ball straight towards the center of the field and ultimately taking her place in the first base. Next up to bat is number 21, Madison Dingman, a senior from Stockton, California, majoring in business and marketing. Ball seems to go a little too far to the left, making that the first ball. A nice solid hit going to the left side of the field, where she takes her place at the first base. First and second bases secured. Where up to bat was number 1, Kaysen Morkish, where a nice solid hit going to the left side of the field, but the Lady Jags responded with a nicely done catch, making that the second out, with the first and second bases secured.
Number 25, Brooke Misery.
Now up to bat is number 25, Brickersay from Redwater, Texas. Another solid hit going to the left side of the field. And it seems all bases are loaded. A strong position to be in right now with just 2 outs. It is a tricky position, as another out could end the top of the second inning. On the other hand, they have a chance to get a couple more runs. Seems a little group discussion from the Lady Jags with their coaches happening. New tactic of some sort, new plan they could implement. And again, make sure you guys comment where you're from and who you're supporting, as well as make sure to go check out our Instagram page at Jaguars Sports Network. Make sure to give us a like and follow.
Number 29, Presley Humphrey.
We're up next to bat is number 29, Presley Humphrey, a sophomore from Texarkana, Texas, majoring in nursing, where ball goes straight towards the middle. She took her place, but ultimately that makes it the third out of the game at the top of the second, where the score is Texarkana 1 and Texas A&M San Antonio 0. And I'll see you guys at the bottom of the second. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the second inning, where up to bat is 0-0 Ashley Whiteheart, a junior from Tomball, Texas, where the count is 1-0 and 0 outs. She shows bunt and goes straight towards the first base where she is ultimately safe and goes for the second. She does a slide and is safe. She looked like she wanted to go to the third, but she's playing it safe and takes her spot in the second base.
Number 11, Rachel Warren.
Up next to bat is number 11, Rachel Warren, a senior from Hurst, Texas. Where it looks like she tried to show bunt, but ultimately retreated, making the count 2-0 and 0 outs with 0-0 on the second base. She shows bunt, but goes too far to the right and ultimately goes back to the box. She shows bunt again and goes straight towards the first base and is out, making that the first out for the bottom of the second inning. And number 00 went and took her place at the third base.
Number 1, Karina Perez.
Now up to bat is number 1, Karina Perez, a sophomore from Eagle Pass, Texas. Count is 3-0 and 1 out. Another ball happens. She'll take her place at the first base. Seems the Lady Eagles are having a discussion as the Lady Jags have an advantage for this bottom of the second inning. That makes it the first strike, making the count 3-1 and 1 out with 0-0 at the third base. Making that a miss right there by the swing, making that the third strike and making that the second out of the bottom of the second inning.
Number 16, Emily
Where
Palacio.
up next to bat is number 16, Emily Palacio, a junior from Buda, Texas. And that ball goes straight towards us to the top of the roof. Another strike, making that count 0-2 and 2 outs. Palacio takes her hit, making the ball go behind the field, making that count 1-2 and 2 outs. And that ball is out. Another chance to take that first base. If another strike occurs, she will be out. And that makes it another strike with 3 outs for the bottom of the second inning. The score being Texarkana 1 and Texas A&M San Antonio 0. And I'll see everyone at the top of the third. And we're back at the top of the third inning. We're up to bat is number 8, Jacqueline Smith, a freshman from El Paso, Texas. A strong hit going to the left side of the field where she runs and tries to take the first base, but ultimately the Lady Jags respond back with a strong catch, making that the first out of the top of the third. Where up next to bat is number 22, Bailey Stotzenberger, a senior from Moran, Texas. Ball going straight towards the player, making that the first ball count being 1-0 and 1 out.
He's at -8. Number 1, DeChambeau is under him, and Rory's under him. 1, 2, and 3.
Tries to show another strong hit. Ultimately goes behind the field, making that scoreboard all ones, 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out.
He shot 65 yesterday.
Ball being a little too far to the left, making it the second ball. A strong, solid hit going to the right side of the field where the Lady Jags are trying to catch it, see through the sun's glare, and they ultimately do, making that the second out at the top of the third inning with no players on any bases. Where up next to bat is number 2, Macy Cutzinger, a junior from Greenwood, Arkansas, majoring in business. Again, I'd like to thank St. Mary's for letting us use their facilities, their commentators' booth, and their field. We couldn't be streaming today without them.
Still a good strike.
Ball going straight to the Eagles' dugout area. Scoreboard shows all twos, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. With another strong, solid hit going to the right side of the field, passing the bleachers, where even one of the spectators try to catch that barehanded. Another hit going to the left side of the field, where she goes straight towards the first base and securing that spot in the first base.
Number 6, Raylin Zungueta.
Up next to bat is number 6, Raylin Zazueta, a senior from Northridge, California, majoring in sociology. Where it seems that number 2, Macy Cutzinger, steals the second base behind everyone's backs.
It's been so long since I've seen them actually get some out.
Count being 1-1, 2 outs, and number 2 on the second base. Number 6 makes contact, making the ball going straight towards the middle, where she takes her place in the first base, and number 2 goes around and gets a run for this top of the third, making the score Texarkana 2.
Number 24, Brianna DeLeon.
Now up next to bat is number 24, Brianna De Leon, a junior from Houston, Texas, majoring in criminal justice. She makes contact, makes the ball goes straight towards the center of the field where the Lady Jags respond back. Quick and effective. And ultimately takes her place at the first base. First base and third base are secured with 2 outs for this top of the third.
They play A tomorrow.
Number 21, Madison Bigman.
Now up next to bat is number 21, Madison Digman, a senior from Stockton, California, majoring in business and marketing.
You having D1 games, coach? This season, D1 games?
Am I playing anybody?
Yeah,
Corpus. 3 at the moment.
Or playing Corpus?
Corpus, Lamar, UT, RGA.
She makes contact, goes to the right side of the field, where they respond quickly and get her out, making that the third out of the top of the third, where the score is Texarkana 2, Texas A&M San Antonio 0. And I'll see everyone at the bottom of the third. And welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the third inning, where Texarkana got another run, making the score 2-0 with number 15 showing bunt, going towards the first base. But ultimately gets out, making that the first out of the bottom of the third, where up next to bat is number 5, Kaylee Barlow.
Yes.
Conference game? More than that.
More than that.
We've only got like 4 or 5 left. This is our.
Barlow hits the ball, makes contact going to the left side of the field,
Hold on, let's.
dodging the hands of the Lady Eagles and taking her place at the first base. Up next to bat is number 21, Cristiana Luera. Try showing bunt. Count being 2-0 and 1 out. Barlow trying to take a steal towards the second base. And she does. She is safe, stealing the second base and securing that spot.
A little, it's risky.
Count being 3-1 and 1 out. Another ball will lead number 21, securing a spot to the first base where she shows bunt, goes straight towards the first base, where she is ultimately out. Made that the second out of the bottom of the third.
Oh, I lost it again. Yeah, just go.
Number 8, Samara Aguilera.
Up next to bat is number 8, Samara Aguilera,
Heck yeah.
where she makes contact going to the very back of the right side of the field, where she not only gets the first, but she goes straight towards the second base, securing that spot. And the player on the third base makes the first run for the Texas A&M San Antonio Lady Jaguars, with the score being 2-1. This could be the chance that the Lady Jaguars have been looking forward to this whole game to turn the tide over. We're up next to bat is number 7, Jordan Henry. Second ball. Solid hit towards the center of the field, but the pitcher catches that with a quick reaction. Not even I could react to that, making that the third out, with the score being Texarkana 2 and Texas A&M San Antonio 1. I'll see everyone at the top of the fourth. Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the fourth inning, where up to bat is number 1, Kason Morkish, a junior from New Caney, Texas, where she makes contact and goes straight towards the first base, but ultimately the Lady Jaguars respond back with a great catch, making that the first out of the top of the fourth.
Number 15, Brooke Rosary.
Up next to bat is number 25, Brooke Ursay, a sophomore, where she makes contact and ultimately, again, the Lady Jaguars respond back with a great catch, making that the second out of the top of the fourth inning.
Number 29, Presley Humphrey.
Now up next to bat is number 29, Presley Humphrey, a sophomore from Texarkana, Texas. Count is 2-1 and 2 outs.
She grew up in
Count is 3-2 and 2 outs. Another ball will lead her to take her place at the first base. On the other hand, another strike will get the third out, where she does a strong hit to the left side of the field, and the Lady Jags quick response with to catch that ball, making that the third out, with the score being Texarkana 2 and Texas A&M San Antonio 1. And I'll see you guys at the bottom of the fourth inning. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the fourth inning, where up to bat is 0-0 Ashley Whiteheart, a junior from Tomball, Texas. Ball a little too far to the right, making that the first ball. Count is 3-1 and 0 outs. Another ball will let Weinhardt take her place at the first base. Ultimately, she hits, giving the ball going to the left side of the field with a quick reaction from the Lady Eagles, and they get their first out for the bottom of the fourth. Now up to bat is number 11, Rachel Warren, a senior from Hurst, Texas. Again, make sure to comment where you're from and who you're supporting, and as well as go follow our Instagram at Jaguars Sports Network. She makes contact going towards the left side of the field where the Lady Eagles, not letting the sun's rays blocking their view, make that catch and get the second out.
Number 1, Karina Perez.
Now up to bat is number 1, Karina Perez, a sophomore from Eagle Pass, Texas. Count is 1-2 and 2 outs. She makes contact going to the right side of the field, too close to the first base, making that the third out for the bottom of the fourth with the score Texarkana 2 and Texas A&M San Antonio 1. I'll see everyone at the top of the fifth inning. And welcome back, everyone, to the top of the fifth inning, where up to bat is number 8, Jacqueline Smith. Count is 2-0 and 0 outs. Count is 3-1, 0 outs. Another ball will make number 8 take her place at the first base. Where that ball is a little too close to her, making that the 4th ball as she takes her place at the first base. Good start for the Lady Eagles to get a couple more runs here.
They get what is it? 8 runs, right? 9 runs, right?
Number 22, Bailey Stolzenberger.
Up next to bat is number 22, Bailey Stotzenberger. As she makes contact going to the left side of the field, where she does not make it safely to the first base, making that the first out. On the other hand, number 8 safely secured the second base.
Number 2, Macy Kutzinger.
Now up next to bat is number 2, Macy Kutzinger. Ball hits the player as she makes her take her place at the first base. First and second bases are secured for the Lady Eagles. We're up next to bat is number 6, Raylene Zazueta. A strong, solid hit going towards the center of the field where the sun's rays do not block the view from number 16 as she catches that ball, making that the second out for the top of the 5th.
Number 24, Brianna De Leon.
Now up next to bat is number 24, Brianna De Leon. Tricky situation for the Lady Eagles as they have 2 outs. On the other hand, they do have the first and second bases secured. Another solid contact, making the ball go straight towards the right side of the field. But ultimately, the Lady Jaguars respond back with a solid catch, making that the 3rd out of the top of the 5th. With the score being Texarkana 2 and Texas A&M San Antonio 1. And I'll see everyone at the bottom of the 5th. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the 5th, where up to bat is number 26, Haley McDonald, a junior from Magnolia, Texas. Count is 3-0 and 0 outs. Under the ball will leave McDonald to secure her spot at the first base. And she makes contact, making the ball go towards the right side of the field, where she ultimately gets an out. That'll be the first out for the Lady Jags at the bottom of the fifth.
Number 15, Alyssa Vicente.
Up next to bat is number 15, Alyssa Vicente, a junior from Schertz, Texas. She makes contact going to the left side of the field, and she secures her spot at the first base. Up next to bat is number 5, Kaylee Barlow, where she shows bunt, but ultimately does not count. She makes contact going towards the center of the field, where player on the first base trying to go to the second is out, making that the second out for the Lady Jags. And Barlow takes her spot at the first base.
Number 21, Christiana Guerrera.
Up next to bat is number 21, Christiana Luera. She makes contact, ball going towards the left side of the field. Barlow slides and is umpire trying to make the decision here. And they ultimately call that she's safe with the first and second bases secured.
Number 8, Samara Aguilera.
Up next to bat is number 8, Samara Aguilera. Tricky spot to be in for the Lady Jags as they got 2 outs. On the other hand, they do have players on first and second bases. Seems Barlow is quick and makes a steal along with the player on first base. Bases second and third are secured. A solid hit going towards the left side of the field, and they don't. Lady Eagles aren't able to catch that ball with 2 runs made while that ball was going towards the left side of the field, making the score 2 and 3, with Texarkana 2 and Texas A&M San Antonio 3. Great play by the Lady Jags, taking that advantage, the stolen bases, along with taking that risk. Where up next to bat is number 7, Jordan Henry, with 1 player securing the first base.
Let that in for a while.
Just gotta see the frame job for the pitcher. Be great if we could get one more.
Scoreboard shows all two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Solid contact going towards the right side of the field, where the Lady Eagles respond nicely with a great catch, making that the 3rd out for the bottom of the 5th. With the score being Texarkana 2 and Texas A&M San Antonio 3. And I'll see everyone at the top of the 6th inning. And welcome back, everyone, to the top of the 6th inning with up to bat is number 21, Madison Dingman. Where at the bottom of the 5th, the Texas A&M San Antonio Lady Jags were able to get 2 runs, putting them ahead with the score being Texas A&M Texarkana 2, Texas A&M San Antonio 3. Let's see what the Lady Eagles have in store for this inning in order to advance.
It's just fat now. She stepped out of the box and got hit. That's an out. She's outside the box. That's an out.
Again, make sure to comment where you're from and who you're supporting, and as well, like and share and subscribe as well. Go ahead and follow our Instagram at Jaguars Sports Network.
Like they're doing it because she's a lefty. His argument is that she charged forward because she's a lefty, and that's why she double tapped it. At least that's what I imagine. Good job, big boy. Good.
Jimenez, good
Careful,
job.
you're gonna be doing this pretty soon.
I know. I mean, I've watched baseball a lot, so
Tim's gonna do the soccer, the lacrosse, the baseball.
physical education teachers do it all.
That's right.
A solid contact going to the right side of the field. And she takes her place at the first base.
What other sport swim team.
I mean, technically, my most successful at it should go to the Olympics in track and field. I won that gold medal.
There we go. There's your track and field coach too. You're done.
I can't even make that claim.
Oh, now I missed the flag. Damn.
You're right.
Ball going straight towards the player as she tries to show bunt.
Have applicants for a
Count being 1-0 and 0 outs with one player at the first base.
Dr. Cho's got a green light that.
She makes contact going towards the center of the field, where player on the first going towards the second is out, making that the first out of the game for the Lady Eagles with one player at the first base.
Number 25, Brooke Esri.
Up next to bat is number 25, Brooke Ursray. Where it seems that player on the first steals second base and is safe, trying to get any advantage that they can during this inning, as they know that the Lady Jags are ahead by 1 run. A solid contact going to the left side of the field. She takes her place at the first base, and player on the second advances to the third and makes a run, making the score Texas A&M Texarkana 3, Texas A&M San Antonio 3, a tied score.
And then the game is tied.
Can't help ourselves.
Number 29, Presley Humphrey.
Up to bat is number 29, Presley Humphrey. A solid contact going to the straight towards the middle of the field, and she takes her place at the first base. First and second base secured by the Lady Eagles. Currently, the Lady Eagles have the advantage to make more runs, putting them ahead. But we will see what will become of the outcome for this top of the 6th inning.
Number 8, Jacqueline Smith.
Next up to bat is number 8, Jacqueline Smith. Count is 0-2, 1 out. First and second base is secured. She makes contact going to the left side of the field, where player on second going to third is out.
Final score.
Bases 1 and 2 are secured. Count being 0-0 and 2 outs.
Number 22, Bailey Stolzenberger.
Up next to bat is number 22, Bailey Stotzenberger.
Yeah, heads up. Sorry, they don't typically see things like that.
She makes contact going towards the left side of the field and reaching the bleachers. Luckily, no one was near there or around there. Count being 0-2 and 2 outs with first and second bases secured. She makes contact going towards the center of the field, putting them at the advantage as they get another run and more steals. Lady Eagles are taking that risk, and it's paying off. With players on second and third bases secured, with the score being Texas A&M Texarkana 4 and Texas A&M San Antonio 3. Players are discussing amongst each other to come up with a plan of action. Where up next to bat is number 2, Macy Kutzinger.
Number 2, Maisie Kutzinger.
Little too far to the right, making the count 2-0 and 2 outs. Players on second and third base.
Oh, come on! Taller, dude.
A little too far to the right, making that count 3-1 and 2 outs. If she gets under the ball, she will take her place at the first base. And it seems that is a strike. She makes a solid hit towards the center of the field. Pitcher catches that effortlessly. And that does it for the top of the 6th inning, with the score being Texas A&M Texarkana 4, Texas A&M San Antonio 3. I'll see everyone at the bottom of the 6th inning. And welcome back, everyone, to the bottom of the sixth inning. With up to bat is number 00, Ashlyn Weinart. Again, I'd like to thank St. Mary's for letting us use their facilities, their softball field, and the commentators booth. Without them, we would not be streaming today. Count is 1-1 and 0 outs. At the top of the sixth, the Lady Eagles were able to get 2 runs, putting them at the top with 4 runs in total and 3 runs for San Antonio Lady Jags. Let's see what they can come up with this bottom of the sixth to see if they can implement something to let them take the lead. Count is 3-1, 0 out.
Oh, I thought we were at what you call it already. I thought we were only at one.
She makes contact going to the right side towards the bleachers, but it does not count, with count being 3-2 and 0 outs. That makes the 4th ball, giving her the secure position of the first base.
Alrighty.
11, Rachel Warren.
Up next to bat is number 11, Rachel Warren, where she makes contact, goes to the first base, and ultimately, person on the first base goes to the second and third and is safe. Count is 0-0, 1 out, and a player on the third base.
Who's this number 2?
I beg your pardon. It seems that the umpire called that another out, making that 0-0 and 2 outs.
Is that Odialis?
2-for-1.
Odalis?
Yeah.
Number 2, Felicia Odalis.
Up next to bat is number 2, Belicia Urdiales, with 2 outs being a tricky position for the Lady Jags to be in, where she makes contact, goes to the left side of the field, and the Lady Eagles respond back with a great catch, making that the 3rd out for the bottom of the sixth, with the score being Texas A&M Texarkana 4 and Texas A&M San Antonio 3. I'll see everyone at the top of the 7th inning. And welcome back, everyone, to the top of the 7th inning,
No, for us, number one is Mandarin.
where up to bat is number 6, Raylan Sazueta.
WCA came and didn't hit, and number one is Karina Taylor.
So Karina's back in.
Yes.
Count is 1-2 and 0 outs.
Reach for that one.
Keep batting right now.
6.
Six.
Oh!
Count is 3-2, 0 outs. If she gets another ball, she'll take her place at the first base. She makes contact and it goes to the right side of the field, but it does not count. She makes contact. Ball goes towards the left side of the field. But again, it does not count. She gets a third strike, making that the first out for the top of the 7th.
Number 24, Brianna De Leon.
Up next to bat is number 24, Brianna De Leon. Ball's thrown a little too far to the right, making that count 2-0 and 1 out.
Take it.
Count is 2-2, 1 out. She makes contact going to the right side of the field, and she takes her place to heads towards the first base, but Lady Jaguars respond back by catching that ball and making it the second out of the top of the 7th inning.
Number 21, Madison Digman.
Now up next to bat is number 21, Madison Dingman.
I don't even need to get ready for your call.
She's literally like
I don't even need to get ready.
her feet are literally together.
I got this.
She shows bunt and goes straight towards the first base, and she is safe.
They didn't communicate at all. They were just ran into each other.
Number 1, Kasan Mokesh.
Up next to bat is number 1, Kasen Morkish. Tries to show bunt, and player on the first base tries to steal the second base and makes a risky move right there, but it seems she is safe. She makes contact going to the right side of the field. She gets the first base secured, does a big slide, and secures that second base. Along with that, player on the second base went to the third base and got a run, making the score Texas A&M Texarkana 5 and Texas A&M San Antonio 3.
Number 25, Brooke Usry.
Up next to bat is number 25, Brooke Ursray. Count is 0-2, 2 outs, and a player on second base. Solid contact going towards the middle of the field, and she takes her place at the first base. And the Lady Eagles get another run here at the top of the 7th, making the score Texas A&M Texarkana 6, Texas A&M San Antonio 3.
Presley Humphrey.
Up next to bat is number 29, Presley Humphrey.
Put a runner in, or are we gonna put a runner in? Or what do you got? What do you got going?
Count is 1-1, 2 outs, and a player on first base. She makes contact going to the right side of the field, and the Lady Jaguars respond by catching that ball, making that the third out for the top of the 7th inning, with the score being Texas A&M Texarkana 6, Texas A&M San Antonio 3. I'll see everyone at the bottom of the 7th. Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning with number 26 up to bat, Haley McDonald. Count is 1-2 and 0 outs. She makes contact, ball going to the right side of the field. The sun's glare does not bother the Lady Eagles as they respond back with a great catch, making that the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
Number 15, Alyssa Vicente.
Up next to bat is number 15, Alyssa Vicente, a junior from Schertz, Texas. She makes contact, ball goes towards the left side of the field, and she takes her place at the first base.
Think about our purple lights, man.
Number 5, Kaylee Barlow.
Up next to bat is number 5, Kaylee Barlow. She makes contact going to the left side of the field and goes into the dugout area. She makes contact, but that ball goes above us at the roof, making that a strike.
It's been a long time since I've seen this kind of hole. So curious to what he did.
Ball's a little too high up. She makes solid contact going to the left side of the field, but it goes straight into the hands of the Lady Eagles, making that the second out of the bottom of the 7th, with one player at the first base. Up next to bat is number 21, Cristiana Loera.
And you're gonna leave it with some.
Alright.
Thanks.
I'm pretty sure Nicole will text you or email you
And then
everything.
I'll get her your number if you don't mind, so that y'all can.
She makes contact, ball going to the left side of the field, and it goes straight into the hands of the Lady Eagles, making that the third out. And that does it for today's second game, the doubleheader with Texas A&M Texarkana against Texas A&M San Antonio, with the final score being Texarkana 6, Texas A&M San Antonio 3. Thank you all. I am your host, Brian Lopez, and thank you all for watching. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, as well as follow our Instagram page at Jaguars Sports Network. Thank you all.